Dear students, thank you for tuning in. This lesson is for English 808 for technical and vocational schools. It is Unit 10, Lesson 5, Present and Real Conditional. In order for you to do the lesson well, you need the following. Number 1, Project Success 2 Student's Book. Number 2, a notebook or a piece of paper. Number 3, a pen or a pencil. Number 4, a dictionary. Now, lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to use the present and real conditional in writing sentences. So, what is the present and real conditional? Let me show you with a sentence. I have I, gap, a day off, comma, I, gap, to the mall, full stop. Now, I would like to use the present and real conditional. So, if I had a day off, comma, I would go to the mall, full stop. Let me show you with another example. Adel, gap, in the park, gap, he, gap, time, full stop. I would like to use the present and real conditional. Look, Adel would play in the park if he had time. Let me show you with the third one. Sami, wealthy, comma, he, comma, a boat, full stop. If Sami were healthy, comma, he might buy a boat. So, the present and real conditional is used to talk about what you would do in an unreal or imaginary situation. So, the present and real conditional is this: if, and you have the past simple, then would and go. Would, play, if had, if were, might, buy. So we use would do, all right, in the other clause. And then we use the imaginary situation in the if clause. Let me explain that even more. So the present and real conditional, in order for us to understand it, I have to pull the timeline, where the present in the middle, the past, and future. So, the unreal should be in the present, all right? And the imaginary should be in the future. Okay, present and real conditional. If we have if clause and main clause, let me build that sentence. I start with if, and then add a subject, then add a past simple, then a comma, and then subject plus a modal plus an infinitive pair, which means a verb without to, and then a full stop. So, if you exercised, comma, you would be fit. Let me check another sentence. If she called, comma, he might answer. If it rained tomorrow, comma, we would play in the rain, full stop. Let's have a quick task. So, question, fill in the gaps in the following. And you have a mark of 3. Number 1, you have a gap. You read a lot, comma, you would become smart. Now you have to fill in the gap with the right word. You have 5 seconds. Now let's check the answer. The answer is F. If you are correct, give yourself a mark. Let's do another one. 2. If it gap a lot, comma, the ground would get wet. You have to use the verb between parentheses, rain. You have 5 seconds. Let's check. The answer is rained. If it rained, past simple. All right, if you're right, give yourself a mark. 3. If he slept early, comma, he, gap, early. You have to use wake up. 5 seconds. Let's check the answer. The answer is would wake up. You have to use would plus the infinitive bear. All right. So give yourself a mark of 3 and let's carry on. So now I have switched. I'm going to start with the main clause and then the if clause. So I start with the subject plus a modal plus infinitive bear and then if without a comma. I do not add a comma here. If and then a subject, then a past simple, and last a full stop. So let's check the example. You would be fit, okay, if you exercised. You have to note that there is no comma in here. All right. A second example. He might answer if she called. Full stop. Very good. We would play in the rain. See, modal would, play infinitive, and this is a complement to the sentence. Okay? If it rained tomorrow. If it rained tomorrow. So what have changed? I have uppercased the first letters. I put them in capital, the Y, the he, and the W, and then, and then I lowercased f, and I removed the comma. So let's have a quick task. Task number 2. Circle the correct verb forms, and you have a mark of 3. Number 1. If Maryam, you have the option had or would have a lot of money, comma, she bought or would buy a beach house. Now, circle the right answer and you have 5 seconds. Okay, let's check the answer. So the first one is had. If Maryam had a lot of money. And second one is she would buy a beach house. You start with the present, the past simple, and then would plus infinitive without to. All right. 2. If she didn't have to or wouldn't have to work, comma, she took or would take a long vacation. Now you have 5 seconds to answer this. Okay, let's check the answer now. The first one is didn't have to. If she didn't have to. Didn't have to. Right? The second one is would take. She would take a long vacation. Now let's jump to 3. Sammy went or would go fishing every day if he had or would have a boat. You have 5 seconds. Let's check the answer. The answer for the first one is would go. Sammy would go because this is the main clause. All right? You start with the infinitive, the modal plus infinitive. Finishing every day if he had, past simple, a boat. Now give yourself a mark of 3 and let's carry on. All right. Now, present and real conditional using be. Let's check. We start with the if clause and then the main clause. So if subject past simple of be, okay? Then comma, subject, modal, plus infinitive, bear. It means without to. Full stop. So if I say I say if I were. I do not say if I was. It is wrong. And the present and real conditional you use instead of was, were for I. You say if I were here, comma, I would study. Okay, let's check with he. If he were, the same thing. If he were here, he would study. She. If she were here, she would study. If it were here, it would study. You see, the 4 of them are just were. Let's check the 5th one. If you were here, the same thing, you would study. If we were here, we would study. And the last one is, if they were here, they would study. You see, were is the same with all the pronouns. All right. Now, present and real conditional questions. How to form questions? Let's check. WH question words plus main clause plus if clause. So I start with the WH question word plus a modal plus a subject plus an infinitive plus if, a subject, past simple, and complement with a question mark. Let's check the example. I say, what? WH question word, what? Modal would. Subject you. Infinitive do. If you won, past simple, the race. Complement of the sentence, question mark. What would you do if you won the race? All right, let's check another example. Now, I would change, instead of what, where. So, where would Amna go if she had a car? Okay, let's change the question word into who. Who would they call if they were here? If they were here. Now, this is how you form the present and real conditional using the WH question words. Now, let's have a quick task. Fill in the gaps in the following. And you have a mark of 3. Number 1. If I gap a doctor, comma, I would save lives. And you have to use the verb be between parentheses. You have 5 seconds. Easy one. Let's check it. If I were. With be, you have to use were. All right. 2. Would she go if she had a flight ticket? Question mark. What is in the beginning? 5 seconds. All right, let's check. You say, where would she go? Why did I choose where? Because you have go. Go. You cannot choose anything else. Go means a place. Where would she go if she had a flight ticket? Question mark. Let's check the third one. Who would you gap if you had an extra seat? Question mark. 5 seconds. All right, let's check. The answer is choose. All right. Who would you choose if you had an extra seat? All right. The verb is choose. All right. Now, let's go to task number 4. Practice on present and real conditional. In your notebooks, answer the following. A. Combine 2 sentences into one using the present and real conditional, like the example below. All right. And you have a mark of 6 for this one. The question, I have homework. This is the first sentence. You have to combine it with, I can't go to the movies tonight. You have to join both and use the present and real conditional. So the example, the model answer for this is this. If I didn't have homework, okay, if I didn't have homework, I would go to the movies tonight. So what did I change? I added if. I added if to the first clause. So it becomes a if clause. And then I added didn't. So I have homework. I said, if I didn't have homework, I made it negative to make it conditional. And then I added a comma instead of the full stop. And I added the modal would. The modal would instead of can't. Okay? So because of the negativity, the negative changed into this. All right. So this is how I changed it. Okay, now we have a different one. The question, I don't have a lot of money, full stop. I can't buy a house by the beach. You have to do this. Plus, he has to work tonight, full stop. He can't go to the movies. 4, she doesn't have a work permit. She can't get a job here. You have to do them by combining these 2 sentences together using the present and real conditional. and you have 3 minutes. All right, now let's check the model answer. So, the model answer for question A. Number 1. If I had a lot of money, comma, I would buy a house by the beach. The second one. If he didn't have to work tonight, comma, he would go to the movies. Third one. If she had a work permit, comma, she would get a job here. Now correct yourself out of 6 and let's carry on. Task number 5. In your notebooks, answer the following. B. Question. Write 4 sentences in the present and real conditional using the following. And you have a mark of 8. The first one. You have to combine all of these. I plus drive fast plus get an accident. Join all these into a conditional. Second one. The story, be interesting, buy it. Third one. He find a lost dog, search its owner. 4. What we do when the match. You have to combine all of them, okay, in one present and real conditional. And you have 3 seconds. All right, now let's check the answer. But before you do that, let's use the self-correcting tools. All right, after you have finished, make sure you have in all of your sentences the following. Number 1, a capitalized first letter. Number 2, a full stop. 3, no spelling mistakes by checking every word using a dictionary. Number 4, no grammatical errors by reviewing the lesson. Now let's jump to the model answers for question B. So the first one, if I drove fast, comma, I would get an accident, full stop. 2, if the story were interesting, okay, comma, I would buy it. 3, if he found a lost wallet, he would search for its owner. 4, what would we do if we won the match, question mark. All right, well done. Give yourself a tap on the back for finishing the lesson and give yourself 2 marks and then calculate your final mark. All right. Now, you are able to use the present and real conditional in writing sentences. And you have a mark of 25. If you have finished with 100% correct answers, that means 25 marks exactly, then you can proceed to the next lesson. If you have 75% or above, that means 19 marks and above, you can go over the part that you failed in and redo it. If you have 75% or lower, that means 19 marks or below, then redo the whole lesson. As always, practice makes perfect. Good luck and thank you for your attention.